My dear friends, before we begin this very important conversation today, I want to ask you for something that would mean the world to me and help us grow this community of wisdom and honest talk. If you find value in what we discuss here, if these words speak to something real in your heart, please consider subscribing to this channel and helping us reach 1,000 subscribers. Your support allows us to continue creating content that addresses the real challenges and questions that men face, especially as we grow older and wiser. Every subscription tells us that this message matters and helps us reach more men who need to hear these truths. Now, if you are a gentleman who has reached the age of 60 or more, I want you to sit down comfortably and listen very closely to what I have to say. It is so important. When men get older, they often worry about losing their hard-earned money, having their health fade away, or finding themselves all alone in a quiet house. But I want to tell you about the biggest mistake many men make today. It is not about money or being alone. It is about letting the wrong person into your life and allowing them to quietly take away the most precious thing you have spent your whole life building. I am talking about your peace. This might sound a bit strong at first. Some people might hear this and want to argue right away, but I ask you to stay with me until the very end. What we are going to talk about today could save you from years of feeling stressed out, full of regret, and completely worn out in your heart and mind. Let us be very honest about something that most people are a little bit scared to talk about in the open. When a man hits 60, his life is not about chasing big thrills anymore. He is not trying to show the world how tough or manly he is. He is done trying to make people like him who do not really matter. By this time, you have lived through so many wins and so many times things did not go your way. You have carried the weight of work and family on your shoulders for a long time. You have made sacrifices that no one else even knows about. Because of all that, you finally know what truly matters in this life. At this stage, the most beautiful things you own are not the things you can touch or see in a bank book. Your real treasures are your peace of mind, your good health, your freedom to do what you want, your time, and the simple joy of waking up every morning without a giant weight on your chest. Yet, it is sad to see how many older men take these treasures and put them at risk the second they start a new relationship. They truly believe in their hearts that having a partner will automatically bring them a bucket full of happiness and comfort. Sometimes it does work out that way, and that is a lovely thing. But many times, what starts as a friendly way to spend time together slowly turns into a heavy list of things you have to do, things people expect from you, and a lot of emotional work that makes you tired. The real tragedy is that most men do not even see it happening. It happens so slowly that by the time it costs them too much, it is almost impossible to fix. The first thing an older man pays with is not his wallet. It is something much deeper. It is his energy. The first reason men over 60 should be very, very careful before getting a girlfriend is something people rarely mention. Taking care of another person's feelings gets much harder as you get older. It takes a lot of work. When you were 25 or 30, you had plenty of energy to handle arguments, misunderstandings, and the constant back and forth of a relationship. You could stay up late talking or dealing with someone else's bad day. But after 60, things feel different. Your list of what is important has changed. You do not have the same patience for stress that does not need to be there. Most of all, your energy is like a limited supply of fuel. You cannot afford to waste it on things that drain you. After working for 40 years, raising your kids, fixing 1,000 problems, and making sure the bills were paid, many older men reach a point where they just want a simple life. They want a quiet house in the morning, a routine they can count on, and people who make their life easier, not more complicated. Sadly, that is not always what happens when a new girlfriend moves into your heart. What starts as a fun way to share a meal slowly turns into you being the person in charge of her happiness. You find yourself trying to fix her moods or solving problems you did not even start. You find yourself being extra careful with every word you say just to keep things from getting tense. Bit by bit, the relationship starts eating up the emotional energy you should be using to keep yourself healthy, enjoy your hobbies, see your family, or just relax. Many men do not see this happening because it starts out feeling so good. At first, the attention is wonderful. It feels nice to have someone ask about your day or tell you that you look nice. But as the weeks go by, she might start expecting more. Suddenly, she wants to know why you want to spend the afternoon alone. She might feel hurt if you want to go fishing instead of going to the store with her. Your need for quiet time becomes something you have to explain or defend. When a man has to constantly work on someone else's feelings just to keep his own house peaceful, that is not a partnership anymore. It is just exhaustion. And the trouble is that being tired in your heart usually leads to another big risk that men do not see coming until it is way too late. That risk is your financial safety. The second reason you must be careful about having a girlfriend after 60 is how it can affect your money. Now, I am not saying you should be mean or stingy. This is not about being cheap or refusing to buy a nice dinner for someone you love. It is about realizing that your money at age 65 means something totally different than it did at age 35. When you are a young man, if you make a mistake with money, you have time to fix it. You can work some extra hours, start a new project, or just wait for your savings to grow back. But after 60, the game changes. Most of the time, the money you have is all the money you will ever have. It is meant to take care of you, keep you safe, pay for your doctors if you get sick, and make sure you never have to worry about where you will live. What many men fail to see is that the money stress in a relationship does not happen all at once. It starts with a nice dinner out on a Friday night, then it is a little weekend trip. Then maybe you help her buy a gift for her grandchild or pay for a car repair because you want to be a nice guy. None of these things feel like a big deal when they happen, but over time, those little things become things she expects every time. The relationship starts to cost a certain amount of money every month just to keep it going. Some men even start using their money to buy peace. They pay for things just so there is no fighting or so she does not leave. This is very dangerous because being lonely can make you make bad choices. A man who is scared of being alone might spend money he really needs for his future just to keep a woman happy today. He might ignore the little red flags in his head because he likes having her around. The problem is that if the relationship ends, the sadness goes away eventually, but the money you spent is gone forever. While money is very important, there is something even bigger that relationships can take away without you even knowing it. That thing is your freedom. The third reason many men over 60 end up feeling very sad about their relationships is that they slowly lose their freedom to be themselves. This happens so quietly. There is no big moment where someone says you are not allowed to be free anymore. Instead, it happens like a slow leak in a tire. One day you wake up and realize you are not as relaxed as you used to be. Before you had a girlfriend, your day belonged to you. If you wanted to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning and drink your coffee on the porch for 3 hours, you could. If you wanted to eat a bowl of cereal for dinner while watching an old movie, no one said a word. You could go to the park, visit your friends, or just sit in your chair and think without having to tell anyone why. That freedom might seem like a small thing, but when you are older, it is the best kind of wealth. The hard part is that every relationship asks you to give up some of that. You have to share your time. You have to talk about what you are doing. You have to think about what the other person wants. What used to be easy now feels like a job. You have to think about her feelings and her schedule every single day. Most men forget how much work it is to compromise. After spending 40 years listening to bosses, taking care of kids, and doing what the world told you to do, you finally reached a time where you could live life your way. Giving that up is a very high price to pay. It is funny and sad at the same time that some men find a partner to be happy, only to realize they were actually happier when they could just do whatever they wanted. Freedom is not being selfish. It is just living at your own speed. When that speed is constantly interrupted, you start to feel grumpy and upset. There is another big trap too. It is the difference between someone giving you attention and someone giving you real respect. This is a psychological trap that catches so many men. At first, it feels the same. A woman is nice to you, she calls you, she says you are handsome, and she wants to spend time with you. After being retired or maybe being alone for a while, that feels like a warm sun on your face. It feels good to be wanted again. It makes you feel like you still have it. But attention is not the same as respect. Anyone can give you attention for a little while. Respect is much deeper. Respect means she cares about your time, your money, and your peace even when things are not perfect. Attention can go away the second she gets bored or mad. Respect stays. Many older men are so happy to be noticed that they forget to check if the relationship is actually making their life better. They only think about how they feel right this second. This is why some men let women treat them badly or do things that are not okay. They ignore the warnings because they do not want the attention to stop. They become afraid of being ignored again. This is when companionship turns into needing the other person just to feel okay. That is a dangerous place to be. I want you to take a deep breath and think about this. A group of caring experts who study these things always say that the smartest men know that attention is never a good enough reason to let someone stay in your life. What really matters is if that person treats your life with the same care you do. Do they respect the life you spent 60 years building? Many men only learn this the hard way because they let loneliness make their choices for them. Loneliness is a very tricky thing. It does not always feel like being sad. Sometimes it feels like you are just bored. It feels like a house that is too quiet or a dinner table with too many empty chairs. Sometimes it hits you right after you stop working because you do not have a place to go every day. This is how loneliness tricks you. It whispers in your ear that you need a girlfriend to be happy, but what you might actually need is a reason to get out of bed. You might need a hobby, some good friends, or a way to help other people. A girlfriend can distract you from being lonely for a little while, but she cannot fix the empty spot inside you. Many men hope a woman will fill that void, but she cannot. It is too much to ask of one person. When you make one person your only source of joy, you are going to end up disappointed. The men who are the happiest after 60 are the ones who build a life they love first. They find friends, they stay busy with things they enjoy, they go for walks, and they keep their minds sharp. Because they already have a full life, they do not need a woman to save them. This changes everything. When you do not need someone, you become very picky about who you let in. You only let in the people who truly add something good. Sadly, many men never learn this, and they end up in relationships that hurt their actual physical health. This is a part of the talk that people often skip, but the stress on your body is very real. When you are a young man, you can handle stress like a champion. You can have a big fight with your wife, go to work the next day, and be fine. Your body bounces back. But after 60, your body does not handle stress that way anymore. Your heart, your brain, and your muscles feel it more. One bad night of worrying can ruin your whole next day. Constant fighting or tension makes your blood pressure go up. It makes your sleep bad. It makes you feel tired all the time. This is why protecting your peace is a health choice. Every time you get into a big argument or a stressful cycle with a partner, you are putting a heavy load on your heart. What some people call relationship drama is actually a poison for your body. It is so strange to see men who spend so much time eating right and going to the gym, only to let a stressful relationship tear their health down. You have to ask yourself a very tough question. Is having someone to talk to worth the damage to your body? The answer gets even clearer when you look at how the wrong person can change who you are. This is another hidden danger. It is the slow loss of who you are. It does not happen in one day. It happens over months and years. When you live your own life, you do things your way. You have habits that make you happy. You know who you are. But in the wrong relationship, you start changing yourself to make the other person happy. You stop saying what you think because you do not want to fight. You stop going to the places you love because she does not like them. You spend your time doing what she wants instead of what makes you feel like yourself. The man who used to be strong and sure of himself starts to fade away. The saddest part is that many men think this is what love looks like. They think giving up their identity is the price they have to pay to have a partner. But real love should make you more of who you are, not less. Once you start losing yourself, you become easy to boss around. You start tolerating things you never would have tolerated before. That is why the men who are truly happy at this age are very careful. They are the ones who are very selective. They understand that every single person you spend time with either helps you feel good or takes a little bit of your happiness away. These wise men do not choose based on a pretty face or the fear of a quiet Saturday night. They choose based on whether someone brings peace into their home. They ask themselves if their life feels better when she is there or if it feels heavier. They look at how they feel after she leaves the room. Do they feel happy, or do they feel like they can finally breathe? These men also know that you do not need a romantic partner to feel connected. You can get that same feeling from a good group of buddies, from your kids and grandkids, from your neighbors, or from being part of a club. Those relationships give you friendship without all the heavy lifting of a romantic relationship. They do not cost as much money, and they do not demand all your time. The most important thing a man over 60 can do is guard his energy like it is pure gold. Time is running faster now. Your health is the most important thing you have. Your emotional balance is hard to get back once someone knocks it over. The biggest lesson you can learn is that being happy and being in a relationship are not the same thing. For a long time, the world has told us that we need a partner to be complete. But as you get older, you see the truth. The happiest men are the ones who like their own company. They have a routine that makes them smile. They have things they look forward to every single day. They are not waiting for a woman to come and fix their boredom because they are already busy living a good life. This is why they are so careful. They know that if someone comes in, she must be a person who brings more peace, not more noise. She should be someone who supports you, not someone who makes demands. If a relationship means you have to give up your health, your savings, your freedom, or your own self, then it is not a gift. It is a bill you cannot afford to pay. This does not mean you should never date again. It just means you should use your head as much as your heart. As you get older and wiser, you realize that your peace is the most important thing in the world. It is not being selfish to keep your life quiet and happy. It is being smart. The goal at 60 is not to find someone to finish your life. The goal is to make sure no one ruins the life you worked so hard to get. Every man has to decide for himself. But remember, your time is short and your peace is precious. The wrong person can take away the joy you spent a lifetime building. The right person should be like a gentle breeze that makes a nice day even better, but never like a storm that knocks your house down. Think about all the years you have lived. Think about all the mornings you woke up early to go to a job you did not always love. Think about the nights you stayed up worrying about how to pay the bills or how to give your children a better life than you had. Think about all the times you put your own dreams on hold because someone else needed you more. Think about all the sacrifices you made that nobody ever thanked you for. You did all of that. You carried all of that weight. And now finally, you have reached a point in your life where you can put down some of that weight and just breathe. You have earned the right to live on your own terms. You have earned the right to say no to things that do not serve you. You have earned the right to protect your peace with everything you have. So many men reach this age and feel guilty about wanting to be alone sometimes. They feel like they are supposed to want a partner because that is what society tells them. Their friends ask them why they are not dating. Their children worry that they are lonely. But here is what nobody tells you. Being alone and being lonely are two completely different things. You can be in a room full of people and feel desperately lonely. You can also be sitting by yourself on your back porch, watching the sun go down and feel completely at peace. The question is not whether you have someone next to you. The question is whether you feel good about your life. Do you wake up looking forward to the day? Do you have things that bring you joy? Do you have people you can call when you need to talk? Do you have a sense of purpose? These are the things that matter. A girlfriend cannot give you purpose. She cannot give you peace. She cannot make you love yourself. Those things have to come from inside you. What a girlfriend can do, if she is the right kind of person, is add to the good life you have already built. She can be someone who shares your interests and makes you laugh. She can be someone who respects your need for space and does not try to change you. She can be someone who brings her own happiness to the table instead of expecting you to create it for her. But if she is not that kind of person, if she is someone who drains your energy, demands your money, limits your freedom, or makes you feel bad about yourself, then she is not adding to your life. She is subtracting from it. And at this stage of your life, you cannot afford to let anyone subtract from the peace and happiness you have worked so hard to create. Let me tell you about a man I knew. His name was Robert, and he was 67 years old when I met him. Robert had been a widower for 5 years. His wife had passed away after a long illness, and he had taken care of her with love and devotion until the very end. After she died, Robert went through a dark time. He missed her terribly. The house felt too quiet. The days felt too long. His children lived in other cities and were busy with their own lives. Robert felt lost. Then he met a woman named Linda at a community center. Linda was friendly and attractive. She paid attention to Robert. She laughed at his jokes. She called him handsome. For the first time in years, Robert felt alive again. He felt wanted. He felt like maybe he could be happy again. Robert and Linda started spending time together. At first, it was wonderful. They went to dinners and movies. They took walks in the park. Robert felt like he had a reason to get up in the morning again. But slowly, things started to change. Linda began to expect Robert to pay for everything. She would suggest expensive restaurants and then look hurt if Robert suggested somewhere less costly. She started calling him multiple times a day and getting upset if he did not answer right away. She did not like it when Robert wanted to spend time with his old friends. She would pout or pick a fight if he made plans that did not include her. She started hinting that she wanted to move in with him to save money on her rent. Robert felt the pressure building. He felt his freedom slipping away. He felt his bank account getting smaller. He felt stressed in a way he had not felt in years. Remember, please subscribe to our channel if you found this helpful. Your subscription helps us reach more men who need to hear these important truths. And please, leave a comment below and tell me, do you think having a girlfriend at 60 makes life better or just more of a headache? Your story might help another man who is trying to decide what to do. Take care of yourself, keep your peace, and remember that you have worked hard to earn the life you have today. Do not let anyone take that away from you without a very good reason. You deserve a life that feels good every single day. Live the rest of your years on your own terms, in your own time, in your own way. That is not selfishness. That is wisdom.